Back to our phone callers. Next up is Susan, listening in Kansas City, Missouri. Hi, Susan.
Hi, how are you, Hank?
I'm good, thank you.
My question is about sickness, or not just sickness, but infirmity, disease, and its relation to a person's sin. Like if that is a result of their sin, or because I've got two conflicting stories that I've read, and I can't even tell you where they are right now. But the one is where Jesus made the blind man see and said it is not because of his sin, but that the glory of God would be revealed. And then the other story is where the man can't get into the pool of Bethesda, I think it was, the healing pool, because he was paralyzed or something was wrong with his legs, and he couldn't get in. Everybody would beat him to it, so Jesus healed him. But then it says a few scriptures down, he saw him later in the temple and said, "Quit sinning, lest a worse affliction befall you." And so I'm confused as to, is this related to sin in our life or not?
Well, we're not in a position to say that sin is the only cause of sickness. And therefore, if someone is sick, we do not have the liberty of saying that it is your sin that caused your sickness. First and foremost, I say that because the Bible is absolutely clear that we live in a cursed creation. And therefore, we all get sick, and eventually we all die. As I've said many times, the death rate is 1 per person, and we're all going to make it. Not only that, but you have all kinds of evidence from Scripture that sin is not the cause. For example, Job was affirmed in the Bible as a great man of faith, and yet he was covered with painful sores from the soles of his feet to the top of his head. Paul confessed to the Galatians that because of a bodily illness, he preached the gospel to them for the first time. Think of Timothy, who was, of course, Paul's son in the faith. He suffered from frequent stomach problems. Instead of him being told by Paul, "We'll positively confess your healing," Paul said to him, "Stop drinking only water and use a little wine." And there are many other examples that could be cited. The bottom line is we live in a cursed creation, and because of that, people get sick and eventually they die.
Okay. Well, so there's no way of knowing. Okay.
I mean, there are consequences to our actions. In other words, if we engage in certain actions, for example, smoking cigarettes, if you smoke 3 packs of cigarettes a day, you shouldn't be surprised 20 years later if you're diagnosed with lung cancer. And then the sin of not being a steward of your body has a result. The same thing is true metaphysically. In other words, if you engage in all kinds of deflective behavior, you feed your mind with all the wrong things, it has an effect on you both mentally and physically. And so there are things that you can do that do become detrimental in your life. But no one has the right to say when someone is diagnosed with cancer, that is because they have some kind of secret sickness in their life. And moreover, the Word of Faith teachers typically go beyond that, and they say it's a lying symptom of the devil, such that we should deny the symptom. We should positively confess health and wealth because that is our guaranteed right. And the point is simply this: no, it is not our guaranteed right.
Okay. So, okay.
If you want to see something that's a clear exposition of all of this, I actually wrote a book called Christianity in Crisis, 21st Century. And in that book, I have a section on sickness, suffering, and the sovereignty of God. I lay all of this out there.
Okay. I'll have to see about getting that then.
Again, it's called Christianity in Crisis, 21st Century.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for your help.
You got it.